So for me, I just knew that I had to stay as positive as I could. Mm-hmm. And I knew there was going to be a time to where I will eventually get back on the field. But right now, I have to be patient. And I was taught patience. I was taught gratitude. Mm-hmm. I was taught to enjoy all little things in life. To be sitting here with you ladies is a blessing, because I couldn't even sit in a chair.
Check the light.
It's supposed to be
like that.
Supposed to be, let's do them like this. Check this out. I like that right there.
Going all out when it's by that bread and butter. The kill for clout, I put that on my dead brother, yo. He talk so much, I showed him I'm a real hunter. Won't say it, but he know I still got real cutters, yo. Yeah, I'm right back in the lost man comers. I had been down bad inside a dog tunnel, yo. Forgot them boys, I found out who my real partners. And who was only with me cause I had dollars.
You already know her life's better, man. That's how we do it.
I like that. Right there, just like the flash and
Oh, it's my life. Yes, sir. Hey. Yes, sir.
Stretch out one leg a little bit towards Kyle. Yeah. There we go.
This shit didn't get off track. Let's get it back on track. Going all out when it's by that bread and butter. The kill for clout, I put that on my dead brother, yo. He talk so much, I showed him I'm a real hunter. Won't say it, but he know I still got real cutters, yo. Yeah, I'm right back in the lost man comers. I had been down bad inside a dog tunnel, yo. Fuck them boys, I found out who my real partners. And who was only with me cause I had dollars, yo.
Like, this is my city. Don't tell me what I bring to the table.
I like that.
Love the table.
Yeah.
We can all just have that energy.
Hey, I'll take it, you know.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, hon.
Let's set this. We were gonna.
He's gonna sit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we went to Paris, obviously. So we went to the fashion week, and that was a crazy experience.
Yeah.
That was something that, man, it just kind of opened my eye on another level of like.
Had you been to New York Fashion Week before?
I've never been to New York's Fashion Week. At the time, I want to say I either AO was trying to get me to go, or I was just like busy with football.
Sure.
And wasn't really into it that much. But Paris was like something I needed to like see it on a different lens.
Oh, absolutely.
And like I just felt when I was out there leaving, the main thing I kind of like took with me was like just be open to everything.
Yeah.
And kind of like just do whatever you want, do what makes you feel good, you know. In fashion, I think that's what it's about, just being unique and just doing what you do. And out there they showed me a whole different ball game, so I'm excited to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, Europe. Like anytime I go over there, I mean, I was just there this past year, and
Okay.
like, at any given point in time, it's like you were dressed to the nines.
Oh man,
Like
everybody.
it doesn't matter if it's fashion week or not.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
people
yeah.
are,
Everybody's
like,
just they're in their own zone.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing what they, they're doing what they do. Like in New York, like you'll see it obviously,
Yeah.
certain spots, but
Yeah.
like I feel like it's certain weekends or certain events
Yes.
to where people will
exactly.
go exotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like man, Paris, every day, like all day, everybody was just dressing up and doing what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that. Like you can just be yourself no matter what.
Yeah.
That's
I
what it's
completely
about.
agree. They don't care.
Yeah, nah.
In Paris, they do not care
Nah.
about what anybody else is
Yeah,
thinking.
everybody be like, oh man, what does he got on? Or, oh man, like if you just walk down the street,
Yep.
and obviously
Yep.
coming from New York to Seattle was a different ball game for me. So like when I came here, and I'll never forget, like during the pandemic, I'm dressing up and everybody on the team is looking at me like what the hell? Like, bro, what are you wearing? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy where the game has went now. Everybody's playing the game as far as fashion. Everybody's in it or trying to be in it. Should you say? And they're trying to be that guy or whatever the case may be. Look
Yeah.
good, whatever.
That's good that you feel that way.
Yeah.
That you're seeing that now.
Oh, absolutely.
In fashions,
It's
especially
a
here.
different ball game now. Everybody like in football, not everybody was like dressing up.
True.
No one was doing that. It was a couple guys, before around the time like my rookie and second year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really rare, and now everybody's playing.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody wants their fit to get seen or take that photo. So it's fun to see it, but there's always different levels to it for sure.
Definitely. Absolutely. I'm assuming we're rolling already.
Oh, we are?
Yeah. this is
Yeah.
where it goes.
Oh, cool.
Oh shit. Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm glad you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. I don't have to repeat myself and try to remember what I said. That's cool.
you're
Oh yeah, that's real good.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
How does this feel today? I think that's what.
Phenomenal. Because me tearing my quad was a different ball game mentally. And just going through that and understanding that I had to be patient. I had no choice but to be patient. God kind of just sat me down. And just missing the game and being able to dress up and feel good about yourself going to the game. I missed that so much because it was like the littlest things that I'm so grateful for now after going through my injuries, and man, this was something that when it was brought to me, it was a no-brainer. I didn't care what it was about. It was like magazine shoot, magazine cover, like, hey, let's do it. Like, let's show my personality. Let's give them what they don't see. A lot of people, they have this narrative about me, but they don't really know me in a way. And so I try to give them what they don't see, and I try to, give them my personality in every way possible. And I like to show that because you can just be free and be who you want to be in this life, and you have one life. I'm very, very blessed. I'm grateful to do what I do as far as on the football field, being a part of the Seahawks. It's a tremendous opportunity, and I've just always admired people outside that like to be themselves and don't really worry about what anybody says about them.
What would you say your personality is within your sense of style?
Oh man.
What are you expressing? What are you telling everybody?
I can express a little bit of everything, should you say,
We got a little bit of that. Of course, we did
I
a little
can
bit of
definitely,
everything today.
yeah, I like to express a little bit of everything. The main thing for me, it's funny because when I got into fashion, before I always had an eye for it. I like to look at certain things, window shop, should you say.
Yeah.
I just couldn't afford it, right? And so now, God blessed me, in a way to where I can. And my main objective when I first got into fashion and dressing up was dressing for women. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was definitely dressing for women, and I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted to look good. I wanted to be that guy that, hey, oh, he can dress. Like, oh, what do you have on? You smell good. Or, you know what I mean? Like, just always taking care of myself as a man and doing my part. And I just always wanted to stand out in my own way, you know, and I like to be unique. I like to be free. And, you know, whether that's, you know, showing up and I'm in a biker jacket or I'm in a nice leather jacket, whatever, or, you know, a nice suit or casual pants. I just like to bring a little bit of everything. You know, that's I don't like to limit myself to one personality or whatever the case may be. I want you to see what you see. Does that make sense?
I love
like
that.
I don't want to I'm not trying to like put on a show for just this, like, oh, he's gonna show up as a boss. Nah, I want you to see whatever you see as the vision of my fit. That's what it's about. Yep.
It's like art.
Exactly.
That's exactly how you would interpret
Exactly.
art as well.
Exactly.
I think you one time said fashion is a sport.
Yep.
Elaborate on that.
It is. It's everybody's playing to win, right? Competition is everything, as Pete Carroll says, and it is. Because you're just in it to not only feel good about yourself, but you're competing against everybody else that's out there in the game. Like, no one wants to be on the back burner. Like, everybody wants to try to win in a way. However you feel you can win, do it. But at the end of the day, there's definitely different levels to it. And so for me, I'm not, like, I already know that we're at the top of the chart. It's just more so just flowing and doing what we do. I don't really like to speak on, hey, I'm winning, or, you know, I'm the top of the, you know, I don't need to do that, because I just let the clothes speak for itself.
Love that. So everyone knows who Jamal Adams is, but where does the nickname the Prez come from?
Yeah, so it's so funny. Back in college, I had a game. I want to say it was versus like Kentucky at the time. This is my dad's old team that he used to play for. So it was my first start at LSU, and obviously had a phenomenal game. And you know, that's where my career kind of took off. And then there was an interview. Or not an interview, should I say, a guy that was writing articles I came across to where he was like, man, he took it over kind of like the president, right? Ooh. And so I was like, okay, I kind of seen it, but I kind of let it, you know, ride. Yeah. And I always kept it in my like file of like screenshots. So I kind of went to it, maybe, I want to say my second year into the league. And I was just kind of like, you know, why not only give myself this nickname, should you say, but, you know, let's run with it and let's see where it goes. You know, so I started off with president, and people were laughing at me, like, when I used to hashtag, like, oh man, what is he talking about? Like, this dude's crazy. Like, president, like, who does he think he is? Like, right? So I go into it, and I stuck with it because I wanted people to understand when I step on the field, like, I'm taking it over. And that was my mindset. So then it went from president to Prez, and that was just honestly just on Twitter or on Instagram, just playing with it for so long. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of saying president, let's Prez. Let's do something different that no one's seen. So it just kind of stuck, and I ran with it. But the main, where I got it from, should you say, is from you know, an interview in an article. So back in college, just ran with it.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that.
I think you're living up to it.
Definitely.
I'm trying a little bit. So you know, it's so funny when people call me Prez now, and I'm like, man, people were doubting me when they used to laugh at me when I used to say it. Like now, like, you know, my boys back home or whatever the case may be, my teammates, they're like, man, Prez, what you doing tonight? Or Prez, where you at? So it's just funny how it sticks and how you can build something very unique in a certain way. And no one, you know, obviously had that type of flow going on. So I just wanted to, you know, run with something, and obviously here we are.
Yeah. No, I think that definitely like speaks to who you are and how your standard of life.
Right.
For sure. It's
Right.
very
We've seen it
brand, very
Right.
presidential. So
Yep.
yeah, no, I love that.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Paris, because
Okay.
I know you want to talk about Paris.
Absolutely.
And like your style obviously has evolved. Like you've taken over, I think, in terms of fashion for football as well.
I appreciate it.
Now you've become this icon. I mean, you got featured in Vogue in December. How was that? Actually, how was that?
Yeah.
Did you know that was coming out?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I had no clue.
Really?
I had no clue.
All of a sudden, you're just.
It's
Kioko
funny because
told you?
my man AO showed me. So I'm out there, and he shows me like, yo, we're on Vogue. I'm like, huh? Like for real?
Yeah.
So when I seen it, it was more so a dream come true. And I just knew that if I stuck with the plan and I kept my faith, that things would work out.
Right.
Because I always, like I said, I've always had the vision of being in fashion. You know, getting drafted to New York was like, you know, it was right in the mecca of everything. And, you know, just meeting so many people throughout Paris Fashion Week, it was a unique experience, you know, and just seeing what everybody brought to the table, just seeing different fashion shows, different things as far as what people like to wear or whatever the case may be. It was definitely an experience I'll never forget.
Are you gonna go back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I plan to go back. I was gonna go back this year, but obviously my injury kind of slowed me down from that. And I definitely want, the next time I make that, that appearance,
Sure.
I definitely want it to be on another level. Like, I feel like I did it solid, but like it can go to a whole nother level next time I go out there, and that's my plan. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite shows that you saw? Or designers? Do you remember?
The best show had to be LV, Louis Vuitton, no question. Virgil's last, release. Kendrick Lamar, he's rapping, he's singing the whole time, and he's there, sitting down like everybody else in the crowd, and just seeing the bands, FMU, all of them just coming through, just putting on a show. Everybody showcasing what they do best, and all Louis Vuitton. It was just an experience. I can't like if you wasn't there, you wouldn't.
Be there.
You have to be there. And I still have all videos on my phone. Like I watch them all the time because it's like, man, I'll never get that experience back. But that was something that really changed my life and opened my eyes in a different lens. And not only LV. I mean, shoot, we went everywhere. I mean, you name it. Jill Sanders, Dries. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, it's Mike Amiri. I mean, golly, just to see where he came, from the start. I remember Mike Amiri jeans. I've always wanted them. Right? Growing up, I always wanted Mike Amiri jeans. They were so expensive. And I was like, man, one day I can get some Mike Amiri jeans. But just to see where he's taking the game, as far as his trousers, his looks, his bags. There's so many people. I mean, the Rude show was dope. There's so many out there. I mean, any show in Paris Fashion Week is top notch to me.
I dream to go.
Yeah.
Dream to go.
Absolutely.
Who, I guess segueing into that, like, who are some of your favorite designers right now?
Oh. I would have to go, my favorite, if I, just had to pick one, I would go Dries.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big Dries fan. I was put on to Dries by my guy Ayo way back when I was a rookie. And, I never heard of it. So I'm like, what is this? Like, this is something I could get into. And it just kind of grew. And I'll forever wear Dries. Like, I'm a big Dries fan. So Dries, I mean, you can't go wrong on.
Sponsor.
Yeah.
For real.
I mean, hello. Come on.
Let's
It's
get
time.
going.
It's time. Let's get it going. It's so many out there that I like to, rock. And again, I like to be diverse, and I like to wear a little bit of everything and not just one thing, one brand. I like to give people chances and wear what they like to, showcase.
Yeah. What kind of styles are you really loving right now?
Oh, I think I'm liking the old school kind of look, like the 90s.
You kind of got that on right
Yeah,
now.
I like the 90s. I like the baggy pants. I'm not gonna wear tight trousers anymore. I'm not gonna lie. I have a little bit bigger legs nowadays, so I can't really do that. But I do like the baggy look, the crop tops. Not like full crop where I'm showing my stomach, but like just a crop top, baggy look. I just like that 90s vibe. I think that's where the game is kind of going. And I just think, again, you can be yourself. You can mix in the early 2000s. You can mix in the Timbs. You can do anything. Totally. It's just so much out there to where you can be free.
There's like no rules.
There's no rules in the game. There's no rules.
No rules
at all.
That's what I love about fashion, is that you can literally do anything.
Absolutely.
So tell me about your relationship with AO. You mentioned him a lot.
Yeah.
You guys seem to collaborate on a lot of your looks.
Yeah, he doesn't like to get credit, obviously, but I'm gonna give him credit. I've been watching AO for quite some time before I got into the league. Kind of like, I want to say, the beginning of college, and just always admired how he went about his business as far as how he dressed and how he just walked the streets. You know what I mean? He just had a uniqueness to him that I was like, man, if one day I can work with him, I would love to. And I remember reaching out to him, and obviously he hit back. So I was a kid in the candy store. I'm like, my man hit me back. So when he hit back, it was just more so, hey man, like, I want you to teach me the game. And what people don't understand about AO, not only is he a stylist, he's a stylist coach. He teaches you the game.
I love that.
Right? He's not just picking, fits out for you and say, hey, where it is. And it's more so, Maul, how can we bounce off ideas? How can we put something together to where if this is the week we're gonna wear it, we're gonna kill it. We want the best fit of the day, right? And I'm thankful for him because he showed me the game. He showed me how to go about my business. He showed me how to dress, and met him when I was 21, like I said, and I'll never forget when I told him, I'm like, bro, I want to be Russell Westbrook of the NFL.
Okay.
I remember telling him that. And because Russ is my guy too. I'm a big fan of Russ. Russ was very unique. He did whatever he wanted to do.
Right.
He, however he walked into the arena, that was the energy he was bringing. And he's always killing it. He's an icon in fashion as well.
Yep.
And so when I told him that, I'll never forget AO laughing. He was just like, all right, bro, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. But obviously, the rest is history. We kind of took it and ran with it. Been working for so long. Alan is my guy, and he's unique in his own way. He's a one-of-one type of guy.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Absolutely.
Talking about like you coming out onto the football field. How important of a role, because I know you've loved fashion your whole life,
Right.
but how important of a role does it play like in your career as an athlete as well? And when you're walking out into the field, like what is it that you want, what statement do you want to make whenever you're coming out in terms of clothing?
Well, that's a great question. When I'm coming in to the stadium, let's start there. When I come into the stadium, the main objective for me is feeling good. Look good, feel good, play good. I've always believed in that, right? So when I throw on something that I know, man, it's gonna catch the eyes of the camera.
About to eat.
It's time. And so when I show up, it's like I'm getting out my car and it's go time. So I'm walking down a mini runway, should you say.
Yep.
And so as I'm walking in, that's my mind frame of like, I'm showing you what I got on and how I'm coming to the game.
Right.
And that's how I'm trying to perform on the field, right? So when I go into the locker room and I put my uniform on, it's like, okay, it's go time. And I'm laying out everything. Like I lay out my jersey with pads, I lay out my armbands, I lay out my cleats, like everything's laid out, right? And I'm trying to be organized. Like I want everything perfect. Because if it's not perfect on game day, something's off, like one little thing, then I'm off. And so I try to make my routine of how I go about, how I approach the game and how I approach not only the game, but my fit as well. I try to make sure it correlates together, should you say. You know what I mean? And bringing that energy. That's the main thing. I want everybody to know, like, when I step on the field, like, it's go time. I'm not here to, I'm here to look good, but once I get on that field, all that goes out the window. Right. I'm trying to knock your head off. That's just my mindset. You know what I mean?
You talked about routine a bit. What is like your general day-to-day routine? Yeah. Just in your life right now.
In my life right now, day-to-day routine. Yeah. First off is getting up, at a decent hour. Sometimes I might pass that hour and sleep in. That's fair. Getting the breakfast in. Okay.
What do you do for breakfast?
So I'm blessed to have a nice chef named Nick. He's a great guy. He's been keeping me right, honestly, just with my diet and making sure I'm eating the right things, because that's important. It really is. I kind of slacked a little bit, 2 years ago. Obviously, I became pescatarian. Okay. Yep. So I was pescatarian. I think that was probably the worst mistake I ever made. One of them, should you say? I've made a lot of mistakes. No one's perfect. We all do. One of the mistakes I've made, obviously, just in investing into a chef that knows it from X to Z. You know what I mean? Like, he just knows everything, and I'm grateful for him. Like, just obviously nutrition, drinking the right things, putting it in my body, making sure when I do go work out, I'm getting, right back to it. Like, I'm not missing meals, Yeah. And, obviously from my routine, it's just waking up, breakfast, working out twice a day sometimes. Yeah. Can go for hours, and that's just my routine. We sit back, watch movies. I'm a big music guy. That's my therapy. Okay.
I felt that today too.
Yeah, I'm a big music guy. I'm really into a little bit of everything. When I was asked before I came here, what do you like to listen to? A little bit of everything. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go to the countryside, no offense to country, or anything other than that. I'm a hip hop, R&B type of guy, but I'll flow through everything. My whole playlist it's called the Prez vibes. It's full of everything. You know what I mean? So I'm a simple guy. I don't try to do too much. I'm a homebody. I like to be at home, especially when I moved from New York to here during the pandemic. Was totally different out here, right? So I was already like, oh man, what is going on? But it kind of made me a homebody at one point. So, now I'm a homebody. Obviously, I'm just getting older. I'm maturing, through my years of playing and whatnot. And just, a lot of things that I used to like, I don't really like anymore. You know what I mean? I like to just kind of go to dinner and vibe a little bit, not going to the club. I ain't doing none of that. Unless we win the Super Bowl, we at the club, you know what I mean? But other than that, I'm at the crib, I'm chilling, I'm posted.
Okay. Coming from New York now in Seattle, what are your thoughts on Seattle's fashion scene? Yeah.
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think it's not that good, I'm gonna be honest. But that's not, like, not everybody's into fashion, right? Like, not everybody, like, gets into it. Like, fashion is, like, to me, I feel like a lot of people, if they throw on any fit nowadays, they're like, oh, bro, I'm into fashion. Like, nah, it's a different level. It's levels to it, you know what I mean? So, Seattle was definitely different for me, coming from New York. Like I said, when I came over, guys are looking at me like, man, what are you wearing? Like, my coach is like, I'm walking on the bus, they looking like, man, what the hell? Like, what you got on, bro? Like, what you doing? Like, you might care more about your fit than this football field, so you get all of that. It was definitely, something that, I just want to bring my flavor and be me. I don't know how else to, be. Like, I've never tried to be anybody else. I've always just brought my energy and been myself, and it's whether you adjust to it or not. You like it or you don't. That's like, true. You know what I mean? I don't try to be the most likable guy. Everybody has their opinion about everything, but hey, you either love me or you don't. So that's how I always approached everything.
I love that. You've modeled a bit too.
Just a tad. Just a tad.
What are your thoughts on that? How was that?
Yeah, modeling is definitely it's a different type of feeling when you have the camera on just you
Yeah.
in front of a lot of people, right? Like some people can't even. Yeah. Like, you know, I have the attention on me, so I got a model, and then I got to put my model face on. You know, it's something that I've always admired. I've always wanted to do. You know, I've always wanted to be on magazines, and you know, one day hopefully GQ. Like
I
that's
totally see that.
that's a goal of mine, right? So, you know, hey, never know where it's gonna go, but obviously I keep my faith and I just keep my head down and grind. And obviously I've been through a lot of injuries over the course of the years, and I'm just, you know, just rebuilding everything. And that's why I kind of call my whole process the rebuild.
Yeah.
I'm just rebuilding from the ground up. I kind of lost everything, and now I'm just building right back up, you know? So this was definitely the start of it, you know? So that's why I was so stoked to come. I'm like, yo, we gotta get this off, because this is where it starts. It's just like new life, you know? Sometimes in life you can't control things, and you know, you go through trials and tribulations, and you know, you live and learn. You start to, you know, mature, and you start to realize what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy, right? And so I just kind of took that and I ran with it. I kept my mindset positive as possible. I've had my days. Everybody has their days.
Right.
But you live and learn, and you the main thing is just growing. You want to grow, you want to evolve, you want to get better each and every day. And so when I was down, where I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything, use the restroom, take a shower by myself, it was very humbling to just come from here to there. And I didn't really, like, there was no way in my mind that I could tell myself, like, man, how did this happen to me? Like, or like, there's no way I thought it would ever happen to me, should you say.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, when it does, you just kind of got to pivot. You got to learn life, and you got to, you know, figure out what works for you.
No, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta pivot and we gotta go and
Yeah,
we gotta work with
you got to shift.
what's happening.
Absolutely. Life is gonna life. You know, life is gonna give you, you know, trials and tribulations. Like, adversity will come for everybody in this world. It's just about how you respond to it. And so my mindset was that it was like, okay, I've been faced with adversity. How am I going to react? I think a lot of people respect how you react off of it than, you know, what you went through. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my gosh.
everybody sees it different. And so for me, I just knew that I had to stay as positive as I could. And I knew there was going to be a time to where I will eventually get back on the field. But right now, I have to be patient. And I was taught patience. I was taught gratitude. I was taught to enjoy all little things in life. To be sitting here with you ladies is a blessing, because I couldn't even sit in a chair. And so you have to, you know, again, you have to move different. You have to evolve. You have to understand what life is about. And, you know, when I understood what makes me happy in life, because everybody's different. Everybody has what makes them, you know, go.
Right.
Yep.
And when I understood what makes me happy, and I understood what my life is about and what my career is about, I was good. I was more so at peace with everything.
That's awesome. That's so inspiring to people.
Absolutely. At 27, and I'm looking up at my teammates. I would never forget. Like, I'm looking up at my teammates, and I'm seeing them, and I'm speaking to them. Right after I got hurt, it was just the lowest of the lowest moment for me in my life. Like, because that was so hard to deal with. Like, being in a wheelchair to where you could not
Do anything yourself.
I couldn't do anything about it. And that was tough. That was really, really tough for me. I kept it together. I didn't show them, but when I got in the car, I cried like a baby, because it was like the lowest of the lowest, man. Like, you lose something that you love so much.
Yeah.
And certain people, like, you know, obviously on social media is a different ball game nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, people don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about your feelings as a human, you know, until you're gone. And then it's like, oh man,
That's
bro.
when you
See all of what he, you know, what he
Right.
or she went through. And then it's just like 2 or 3 weeks later, you just a tombstone. And then it's like life moves on. So it's like, it keeps going. So when you start to realize perspective of life, you're like, okay, let me put my focus and effort into what really makes me happy.
Yeah.
And not worry about what people think about you or whatever. Like, it don't matter.
No.
Like, just be you, and whatever makes you happy in life, do that.
I feel like the older we get,
You start to learn.
you start to realize that.
100%.
You're like,
100%. Yeah, who gives a fuck? That
Like,
basically. Exactly.
you start to learn like people don't. And if
Exactly.
they do, it's for like 2 seconds.
Exactly.
And then they move on to something
Yep.
else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No
It
question.
seems like in the time that you've been recovering that you've tapped into fashion
Yeah.
more, and like you've been, I mean, I see you on the gram like with the fit pics,
Right.
and, like, traveling, and like it just seems like you've gotten to enjoy that side of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I wanted to give myself an outlet. Like I didn't want to put myself in a hole. I put myself in a hole for so long, since 2021, of just constant like, man, I should have did this, or man, I should have never did this, or why I did this, or like when you do that, like you're just adding to the fuel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had
gets
to.
heavier.
Yeah, it gets heavier, and I had to forgive myself. And when I forgave myself, I think that's when a lot of stuff just got off my back, and I didn't put so much pressure on myself, and I didn't worry about, oh man, like he got hurt again, or oh man, like what is he gonna do with his career next, or you know what I mean? Like because when you think about all that, it's just like it's draining. It's a draining thing, and so when I forgave myself, I had more peace about what I've done with my life thus far.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, I'm not about to beat myself up anymore, and I've done a lot of great things in life. Like I don't want to take away from what I've already done.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just because of what I'm going through,
Right.
right? Or whatever so-and-so says about what's going on about my career, because most of the time people don't even know. They don't even know the half. So it's like when you appreciate those that are in your circle, and you appreciate your family, you appreciate what makes you happy in life, you know, that's what it's about to me. Like it ain't about what other people think about you or what you're trying to prove. Like you don't have to prove anything to anybody, you know, but yourself. You know, just whatever your goals are in life, like do that shit. Like that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Just go get it in any way possible, and don't let anybody stop you. Yeah.
That was so good. Have you always seen yourself like living this type of life? Like when you were younger, did you see?
Yeah, what's this been like?
Man, I started football at the age of 3. I was 3 years old. And I've always had a vision of being in the NFL. I always told myself, it's only a matter of time.
Okay.
I've always had this vision. And it sounds easy to say since we're on like,
We're here.
we're here.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I've always had this vision. And I knew it was gonna happen. It was just a matter of time.
Right.
And I was never the guy to say like, oh, I got a plan B. I always focused on my plan A, because I wasn't gonna let that stop me. I wasn't gonna let anything stop me from plan A.
Yeah.
Like if I have a goal in mind, like that's what I'm trying to do. If I say I want to do something, that's what I'm trying to do. And so I've always had the vision, and you know, high school, just I think back on it, really not even high school, just middle school. You know, just playing 8th grade football, and you know, first like game, I have 4 touchdowns. First play of the game, I scored, and I'm like, okay, I got a chance to, you know, do something. Like, I might got a little something. So then, you know, you go to high school, and then my freshman year, rest in peace to my high school coach that just passed. He gave me an opportunity that changed my life, and I was a freshman on varsity, which is very rare around the world for high school football. And I was a freshman that was blessed with the opportunity to be on varsity for 4 years. And my first couple of offers was coming in after my sophomore year.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And I'm talking about full ride scholarship. So you look at like Friday Night Lights is one of my movies. So I'm looking as a kid, I'm like, oh man, like you get offers, like you
Yep. I
go,
love that.
go to school for free, you know what I mean? And you can play football, like that was the goal.
Yeah.
And so, boom, all these offers. I mean, I was blessed with 100+ offers,
Wow.
right? 5-star kid coming out of Texas, Carrollton, Texas to be exact. You know, I'm proud of where I'm from, and you know, obviously picking LSU was just, it was a dream come true.
Yep.
I've always wanted to play in the SEC conference, and you know, obviously getting that opportunity by Les Miles and him coming to my home, and you know, just all these like college coaches, you know, just coming. Like, you ever seen The Blind Side? Like, you see all these like coaches coming in, and it was just, it was a dream come true. And you know, when I picked LSU and I went there, I had a mindset of, I gotta make it out of here no matter what, and I gotta get to that league. And I've always wanted to be a first rounder because my father was a first rounder.
Okay.
So he was drafted to the Giants, the 18th pick, back in 1985. So I didn't get to enjoy his career, obviously. I was a youngin'. I wasn't even thought of, should we say. I was born in 95. But his career was cut short due to injury. And so I always had that like competition or that competitive juice with my pops. Like as a kid, like he would always tell me like, you're not better than me until you get drafted higher than me. And I always kept that as like mojo. And I said, okay, I'm gonna show you. And so obviously the rest was history. I got drafted 6 overall, you know, to the New York Jets. And I'll never forget when I got drafted, he looked at me and he gave me a big hug and he told me, "You better than me now."
I love that.
So it was just it was always a want to and to try to be like my father, but I wanted to be better too. You know what I mean? I always wanted to strive, and he pushed me for that, right? And he let me enjoy everything. And it wasn't just football, but in a way it was football because that's all I love to do.
Yeah.
And so
That's your life.
he pushed me to, you know, get where I am now. And, you know, that's all I've ever wanted to do was just, you know, get to the NFL and take care of my family and, you know, make my parents proud, make my family proud, make my loved ones proud, make anybody I inspire proud, right?
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to, you know, inspire kids. And I was once that kid. And I'll never forget, quick story.
Yeah.
I was a big Giants fan, huge, you know, huge, because my dad, obviously. And we're in Dallas, and they're playing the Cowboys. I want to say it's Monday night. And Brandon Jacobs, one of the best running backs out of, you know, the NFL or the Giants, wherever. He was a beast. And so I'm getting all these autographs, Jeremy Shockey, Tom Coughlin, you name it. I'm getting all these autographs as a kid. I had my little football, still got it to this day. And they're coming out the locker room. First person was Eli Manning. Second person was Jeremy Shockey. Third one was Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber gave me his jersey. I still have it to this day. And Brandon Jacobs came out with like a white suit. And so I'm like, oh man, look at this dude. This dude fly. So I had my Sharpie in my hand. And as I'm going in, I'm like, Mr. Jacob, can I get your autograph? He gave it to me. And I remember swiping his suit on accident.
No, I would not.
True story. Not bullshit. I swiped his suit and he had a white suit on. And my dad, I remember my dad grabbing me like real quick, like, I'm like, what are you doing, Pop? Like, I'm talking to Brandon Jacobs. And he's like, Bob, I'll tell you in the car. Like, just come on. So by the time, like, Brandon Jacobs was like one of the last to come out. And by the time I got to the car, Pops was like, man, you swiped his jacket with the Sharpie. You didn't see it, but I did. So I'm like, oh man, for real? So like, if Brandon Jacobs ever sees this, he probably's like, It was
Yeah,
him.
I remember that.
Like, I remember that. So, just moments like that, just it was like it was inspiring to see so many, players on the field and like I played with them on Madden and everything was just so cool as a young kid. And I've always told myself, like, if I ever make it one day, like, I would never turn down a kid. I would never, like, if he wants an autograph, he wants a picture, I will always do it, like, no matter what, because I was once that kid and I've been turned down before. I'm not gonna say by who, but I've been turned down before, and I've always told myself, like, if I make it on the top level, I will sign every kid's autograph no matter what. Like, I don't even care if you go sell it, you know what I mean? Because I know that moment can change your life.
Right.
And it can inspire you to go chase your dreams, whether that's football, being a doctor, being a lawyer, whatever the case may be. I knew I would never turn down a kid because that's what it's about. That's what I love about my job the most, is that I can inspire people.
Yeah.
That gets me going more than anything.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
I would love that
Absolutely.
story. Also, just, the moment I think that's caught me there is like you saw him walking out in an all-white suit. Like, there's like a fashion moment for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh, so this guy's gonna show up.
Because it was different back then. Everybody was wearing like the baggy suits, right? Nobody was really into the pants and the trousers.
Right.
Trousers.
You saw someone
Like,
else.
yeah,
Now,
it's a different ball game. Even when, Allen Iverson was, balling. Like, he brought a whole different swagger. Like, tattoos, headband, chains, like glasses,
whole
like,
different vibe. Yeah.
it's just a different era, and it's just crazy to see where it's gone, from the time when I was a kid to now.
That's awesome. So now that you've made it to that moment where you've made people proud, you've made your dad proud, your family, what is next for the Prez?
Yeah.
Like, where do you see yourself? What are some goals that you have in the near future?
The first goal for my career is the Hall of Fame. That's definitely always been a goal, right? That's something that, man, I can dream about, but it's just, to me, it's so far because I got so much left, right? And I always push myself to a limit to where I can't go anymore. But I try to be the best in everything, right? There's so many things. Like, I want to start a family, right? I wanna have a little mall running around one day, right? Or a daughter, right? That's the life I'm coming into. Like, that's where my vision is. Like, it's time to leave my mark, not only with myself, but with the little one, running around as well. Like, letting him or she, grow up to be what they want to be in life. I think that's the vision that I'm shooting for and I'm going towards, right? And obviously the main thing for me, like, while I'm playing, is winning a Super Bowl. That's something my pops does have over me.
Okay.
He has a ring, and so winning a Super Bowl would be something that I can't really, I can talk about it. Like, it's so much that goes in my head, like, what would happen. But you can best believe I would be on that float acting a complete fool. You can best believe that, because that's a moment that you just can't like think about unless you, like, it's just like you have to be, like, that's an experience that everybody wants to feel that's in this game. Like, we work so hard. Like, so hard. We put our bodies through so much. We sacrifice so much time away from our families, our loved ones, our friends. And it's like, man, there's nothing like, I can only imagine to hold that trophy and get a Super Bowl ring and just say, like, man, like, we put it all out there, and we're rewarded with something that's so bigger than any accolade. As a team, like, man, like, that's something that we're definitely shooting for. I'm shooting for, and when you're speaking into existence, like, it makes it happen. So we got a good chance this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's only a matter of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everything that you've kind of ever wanted has really you know.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
think-
And that's what it's been like, you know, just always keeping that positive mindset of like, hey, if that's what you want to do, go make it happen. Like I said, I wanted to be a top 10 pick. I said I wanted to break a record. I said I wanted to, you know, like it's just certain thing. I said I wanted to, you know, be in the fashion world. Like I said, I wanted to build my name up in that. And, you know, I think when you set your goals and your mindset on something, when you know, you just fix your jaw in a way and you just go chase it. You don't let anybody stop you.
That's so inspiring.
I know we've got so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
All of this is phenomenal. And
Absolutely.
yeah, your story is incredible.
Absolutely. I appreciate
I'm
it.
very inspired right now.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
I also love how you're blending two very different worlds together, fashion and football.
Right.
Like you're blending them together so well, and like it's inspiring for me because I come from several different backgrounds and I'm involved in several different things. Same with Hannah, and it's like, how do we blend that in a way that's still remaining authentic to ourselves?
Right.
But you do that so perfectly.
I appreciate it.
So
I
that's
appreciate
very,
that.
That's very inspiring.
And it was times though, like, you know, even when I first started into the fashion world, like, ah man, why are you putting your focus into that? Or why are you doing this? Or maybe you should focus on just football. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you get a lot of that. Like, I definitely did.
We get that too.
And so, it's not about what you think or what your perspective is on fashion. Like, not everybody's into it, but this is what I like to do. This is what makes me happy, feel good about myself, inspire people around. Like, you can go knock people out on the football field, but you can also be a pretty boy, smell good off the field, right? You don't have to always keep that anger all the time. Like, you don't have to do that. So I just wanted to be myself, and here we are. The rest is history.
That's amazing. There you go. So good. There you have it, guys.
Easy.
Jamal Adams, the Prez.
Checking out.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For your time.
Appreciate you.
yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
I think that's a wrap.
Easy, man. I appreciate y'all. Let's get this margarita.
Well deserved.
Conversation with my sergeant this morning, and he's like, everything looks good. Like, you have time. Like, you have, you know, a month before you can really get back out there and do what you do. Like, so it's still a long process of everything, but I'm grateful for where I am now. Just to be standing, having this opportunity to do this with you guys. Like, I don't take that lightly, man. I really don't. So I'm grateful and I appreciate you guys. I really do.
We appreciate
Absolutely.
you coming all the way out and doing all this.
Absolutely. Man, we'll never
That goal
forget
line
this.
is
Like,
right there.
we'll never
Never.
forget it. You know what I mean?
Never.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. So we're all together, different backgrounds, different cultures, different families. Like, this is what it's about. Like, coming together as one. And shooting some great ass content. Like, why not?
Cheers to that.
That's dope.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Oh, you even got goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
I get those goosebumps every time.
The light caught them.
So what do you go think?